to your side, 'cause I can't help but curtails the things you want me to do for what I wanna accomplish in life. 29, I'm thinking I'm no good for you, you're no good for me. There's a better way. Why is it so hard to put you into the past? It's a matter of time. We both know this will never last. We were both 21. Our only motive was fun, but then we loaded that gun, trampled on what was young, and it just occurred to me that I've been wasting away. I think I'm finally good to move on, right or wrong. Why is it so hard to put you into the past? It's a matter of time. We both know this will never last. Silly me, silly you, we were thinking. From the ground, but we're hanging from the ceiling. How do I make it back? In the background, got to move on now. Stuck in the background, got to move on now. Why is it so hard to put you into the past? Why is it so hard to put you into the past? It's a matter of time. We both know this will never last. Silly me, silly you, we were thinking. From the ground, but we're hanging from the ceiling. How do I make it
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Lone Star Alliance Game of the Week. You are looking live at Dragon Field at the campus of Carroll High School in Southlake, Texas. This Game On Sports Network brings you exclusive coverage of today's Lone Star Alliance Game of the Week between the UT San Antonio Roadrunners and the Oklahoma Sooners. Alongside Jim Dixon, this is Brian Shackelford welcoming you to this afternoon's broadcast at Carroll High School. And Jim, the dates on the calendar have finally reached that part of the year that you love most. We've gotten January in the rearview mirror, and it's now lacrosse season. And here in the opening week of the Lone Star Alliance collegiate lacrosse schedule, we've got a great game here this afternoon in what has turned out to be beautiful conditions at Carroll High School in Southlake.
It is sunny out. The tepid weather is behind us, but more to come. So, it's lacrosse season.
And we are ready to go here as Oklahoma playing their second game of the day. They had a game earlier this afternoon against the LSU Tigers that they lost 9-5. So they are looking to even the slate here in games this afternoon against a UT San Antonio team that Jim has both come into today for their first game of the season. Yet to play this season until this game this afternoon. And they brought a short crew up the road from San Antonio to play today.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, in MCLA, you have divisions, and obviously OU is D1 and UTSA comes up in D2, and there's gonna be a difference on roster size and all that, but nice of them to try and pull together a tune-up with a quality squad in the area. And see if they can step up in class a little bit.
Well, you had mentioned that in our first game of the week earlier today when LSU faced off against Oklahoma, that this time of year these teams will actually kind of barnstorm and try to pick up games where they can, much like what we talked about in that previous game where LSU actually picked up a game last night against SMU over at the Ford Center in Dallas.
Right, and they'll come in and hit an area, and you'll during spring break it's chaos. It's teams. Teams coming in from out of state and hitting, Oregon last year came in from out of state and hit about 4 games in 5 days. And
you're right.
And it's just it's kind of fun for these kids to go. They're able to travel someplace and get to see a whole state.
No, indeed. And speaking of the UT San Antonio roster. They only have 2 people on the roster right now that are from outside the state of Texas. So you'll get to see more of a homegrown product here from the Roadrunners as 15 of the 17 players on their schedule call the Lone Star State home.
Yeah, and it comes – I mean, we saw in this earlier game and with OU and with LSU that there was quite a bit of high school talent mixed up amongst those. Most of those kids came from the DFW area, where UTSA, most of those kids come from the South Texas region or the South region of THSLL, and you find these kids, they're playing in the Austin or San Antonio area. So, not exactly pulling on the Philly style, but definitely get to see what each area of the state produces as far as talent.
And folks, the opening face-off, and we're underway as that face-off taken by number 10, Austin Hurd, to start things this afternoon in our second game of the week here from Carroll High School. So Oklahoma controlling. They'll bring the ball in out of X. As inbounding the ball, that's Andy Schumann, who had a goal in the earlier game for the Sooners. He'll work an X in this matchup here, wearing number 4 up top right now for the Sooners. That's number 22, Justin Kuntz, and number 25, Jackson Ferris, the junior captain.
Yeah, and I think with particularly with the step down of D2 with UTSA coming into this game, you're going to be able to on the OU side kind of empty the bench a little bit.
And the opening shot there, a nice save by the UTSA goalkeeper. As number 11 pulls that into the big net, Colin Salinas, 6', 210-pound sophomore out of San Antonio. And quickly, you've got to be impressed with how quickly the Roadrunners put that on goal as Kyle Wolchuk. The sophomore goalie had a great game in the first game, and San Antonio wasted no time getting that ball on him.
They wasted no time attacking, and there's a couple of options that you have with a short roster. I mean, it doesn't make it insurmountable, but it is difficult to overcome, and you can play on the perimeter or you can attack, and obviously we're going to attack today.
And the shot there from the angle by Connor Stevens off the post into the back of the net. And Oklahoma now resets. They get a fresh 80 on the shot clock as we have almost 2 minutes gone here in the opening quarter at Carroll High School in Southlake. The ball coming straight up out of X. That's Mullendor looking for a low shot, and a nice save there once again by Salinas. So they've got the right man in goal so far, as Colin Salinas has made 2 very good saves here in just 2 minutes' time.
Yeah, I mean, very, very approached on the clear, and they realize how valuable these clears are, and they take care of it.
And now the Roadrunners working on the near side here with number 13, Daniel Connor. So UTSA in the gray sweatpants, the gray pants, and navy blue and orange tops. Oklahoma in the all-home white, as Oklahoma is the designated home team here today at Carroll High School. And working there on the near sideline, that's number 6, Miles Revenaugh, being marked by Connor Stevens. They go goal line extended on the far side with the shot clock approaching 30. Getting in time for a shot. And UTSA with the opening goal. That's number 2 with the score, Luke Wardlow, the junior out of Houston. And it's a 1-0 lead early for the Roadrunners.
Yeah, and this attacking approach is working for UTSA right now. You got to follow it up with a win at the face-off. But you see him turn the corner, splits the dodge, goes left hand, right hand, and pops that into the near side post.
So Luke Wardlow with the opening score for the Roadrunners, 1-0 UTSA, with 12:18 remaining here in the first quarter.
Now UTSA had the benefit of driving up and actually watching the first game, so they got a little scouting on the go.
So a face-off win there for Oklahoma, as Ben Claffin will control. Number 19 brings the ball down for the Sooners on the far side, and they'll set up top with number 1, Josh Hovde. As Hovde will move out of the way, they'll get personnel on the field, and we'll get the first attack here from Oklahoma in the opening quarter. Number 44, Shep Myers, comes into the game up top with number 13, Xander Nelson. And Nelson, Jim, he's one of those Dallas area products on the University of Texas at Oklahoma roster.
Yes.
Out of Dallas. A 6', 180-pound freshman. Working in X, that's Andy Schumann. Schumann going back up top to Austin Herr. Now short as they try to sneak Mullendor in. And you've got to like the play call there as Zeke Mullendor, 210-pound, 6'3" junior from Tulsa. He snuck right in there on the goal crease. They fed him perfectly, just couldn't get it past Salinas.
No, and Salinas stepped out from the pipe, closed the angle, and that's exactly what you want to do and force that shot wide.
So it was a fresh shot clock as they drew iron. But a turnover here to UTSA. Roadrunners will take over now with exactly 11 minutes remaining in our opening quarter here in our second game of the week live on Game On Sports. And, folks, we want to take a moment and thank you for joining us wherever you might be watching around the state, throughout the country, around the world here on the World Wide Web and on GameOnSportsNetwork.com. Setting up top for UTSA, that's number 4, Lucas Felius. They let the ball go back toward midfield. Ground ball scramble there, won by number 13, Xander Nelson for the Sooners. Shot on goal and a score. Quick strike there as Andy Schumann left all by himself, and he gets the ball past Salinas to tie the score at 1.
Yeah, Schumann just took advantage and working quick. A lot of the Poles playing up on the midline, trying to keep that in play, and I saw a lot of high IQ lacrosse from the UTSA gang. They were kicking balls over the midline rather than trying to play them. So keeping that thing live, and it did them in. It was to their detriment because it drew that entire deep hole line up and just created a vacuum for OU to work in.
So now the game tied at 1 as Andy Schumann will tie the score with 10:29 to play in the first quarter. And a nice quick face-off win there for number 9 of San Antonio as they will charge forward. The ball lost out of bounds by the Roadrunners. Now Oklahoma will bring the ball back into play. So a nice face-off win, but then it goes for naught as San Antonio will lose the ball out of bounds. But a steal here and an opportunity, but the ground ball will come back to Oklahoma and number 0, Landon Szymanski.
Yeah, unfortunately on that attack, really nowhere to go, pulling doubles up on the top part of the shooting lane, and nowhere to go after that. And once the ball's down, it's pretty much gone.
So now OU will reset the offense here, and you were right, Jim. It is a different look than what we saw in the game against LSU, as the head coach of the Sooners, Corbin Barnett, trying to get a look at some different players here in this matchup with the Roadrunners. Working out of X, that's Schumann once again, the goal scorer for Oklahoma. And they pass the ball back up top. Once again up top, that's number 25, Jackson Ferris, along with Justin Kuntz. Kuntz now to the far side with Hovden. Mullendor now and X comes back to Connor Stevens. So they'll set up a counterclockwise rotation here as a move by Ferris. He'll try to take a shot and right into the big net of Colin Salinas, and that will blow the whistle as we have a penalty flag back near midfield and a penalty being assessed against the Roadrunners.
Yeah, and they're trying to work Salinas left and right, and he seems to have an answer for it. He's a very mobile goalie, and he's very patient about where he sets up and then cuts his angle late. So OU needs to probably look at a different approach than what they took in the first game against LSU.
Yeah, LSU tried to generate. It seemed to me their key was the grinding defense that would then generate offensive opportunities, where UTSA here, on the other hand, is just looking to go for the quick strike right off the bat. So a man-up advantage here for Oklahoma as we move under 9 minutes remaining, and they try to retake the lead. They opened the scoring, or pardon me, no, that was Luke Wardlow that opened the scoring for UTSA. Andy Schumann answering for Oklahoma.
Yeah, Salinas with a good hustle possession there out of the crease, and I don't know that he beat him, but generally, if you see a goalie out there trying to make things happen, they will award him at least more than half the time.
And the ball loose back to the long stick of Landon Szymanski for Oklahoma. And a 2-on-1 situation. Mullendor, that's just way too easy, as Mullendor was 2-on-1 with his teammate Schumann. Salinas had no chance there as Oklahoma takes the lead.
No, a nice little head fake and then a fake from Mullendor as he went across the crease. We're going to see it here. Nice little outlet pass. Finds his open man, does a fake, drops it in that bottom corner where he just revealed himself. That's hard for Salinas. You're going to lose those 90% of the time.
So now 2-1 the advantage for the Sooners, as they have scored the last 2 goals. 8:21 remaining here in the opening quarter at Carroll High School in Southlake. The face-off wing loose on the ground, picked up by number 13 for UTSA, Daniel Connor. He's also out of the San Antonio area, along with the goalkeeper Salinas. But an opportunity here now as the Roadrunners look to tie the score, trailing for the first time today with 8 minutes to play here in our opening quarter. Working here on the near side, number 6, Miles Revenaugh. A little back and forth between Revenaugh and number 4, Lucas Felius. Revenaugh trying to get past the mark of number 5, Cooper Harris. Loose ground ball in front, and that will be scooped out. Nice play there. Oh, nice hit on Felius. But it's for naught as the Roadrunners control. And that pass intended on the far side, falling out of the cross of the Roadrunner player, and it goes across the end line. And that turns into Oklahoma ball with here 7:25 to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, and UTSA's really given up size on that attack line to Oklahoma. Really need to be a little bit more purposeful about your speed, where you're going to put guys. You just can't set and wait. They're very mobile and have had luck with this early, but just can't get complacent.
So Oklahoma back on the job now as the clock moves past 7 minutes remaining. And they control here, leading 2-1. They have the shot clock down to 40 as Shep Myers here on the near side. He'll bring it down goal line extended. Andy Schumann waiting patiently in X for the Sooners, as Myers trying to direct traffic to put the play in. Myers goes back to Zach Mullendor. Mullendor with an over-the-shoulder shot. He got some mustard on that, and it was just a little bit too wide, as Schumann will make sure Oklahoma maintains possession. But only 20 now on the shot clock for Oklahoma.
Yeah, Mullendor, nice shot on it, just didn't get his head around.
And Mullendor there with another wrist shot as Hovda will try to dislodge the ball from Felius.
He's got some zip on it for his left hand. He's got a good switch on him.
And the Ball knocked out of the cross of number 13, Daniel Connor. As Oklahoma will go right back to work on offense. 5:55 remaining in the first period. 2-1 Oklahoma here in our second game of the week.
Yeah, Oklahoma's doing a great job about pressuring UTSA the entire length of the field. Connor kind of got over his skis a little bit, started playing cute with the midline, and that burned him. But they need to. That was the first time they felt that full pressure the length of the field.
So the Sooners lose the ball across the end line, and UTSA will bring the ball back into play as they go back to work on offense. A little forecourt, pressure up front here as Salinas will try to help get the ball across the timeline. They're getting close, and they just get the ball across the timeline. Now on the attack, the Roadrunners, nice open look there and a goal for UTSA. Charging in on the left side, that's number 3 with the goal.
That's Cole Patterson.
Yeah, Cole Patterson with the goal. I forgot it. Yeah, normally we have him as number 10 on our roster, but he's wearing number 3 today. And it's tied up here at 2, and a timeout taken with 5:13 remaining in the first period.
Yeah, OU really wants to look at these, look at shutting down this quick game, see what they can do about extending that. They're more than happy to play on the perimeter, pick and choose on the offensive edge. But on the defensive side, they got to figure out a way to slow down the Roadrunners, and they did that They did that through possession. Through the last possession, they played pressure the entire length of the field, shut them down at midfield, and maybe that's what they need to go back to. They need to figure out how to stop this attack because UTSA is seeping in behind that defense and finding lanes to run in.
Yes, and certainly it was enough here that Coach Corbin Barnett felt that it was warranted a timeout so he could talk things over with his Oklahoma Sooner squad. So Oklahoma takes one of their 2 timeouts here with 5 minutes and change remaining in the first period. So it was something that he felt needed to be addressed right away, as he felt it was worth spending a timeout.
Well, if you can stop those quick runs, that's good investment.
And we'll see how it looks here now with 5:13 remaining in the first period, as Oklahoma has allowed the score by Cole Peterson. The game now tied at 2. Two all here. The opening goal by Luke Wardlow for the Roadrunners, then back-to-back goals by Schumann and Mullendorf for Oklahoma. And now Peterson has tied the score here for UTSA. As we'll take you here to midfield and the face-off dot on the Game On Sports face-off cam. And a clean win there for UTSA. Nice face-off win by number 9 of the Roadrunners. I don't happen to have him on my roster, so we'll have to find out who that is. It might be James Michaud because he's the only player on the roster listed as a face-off specialist.
And he looks to be 5'9".
The circumstantial evidence is there, so we'll continue to investigate further.
We can go with it.
Yep. So a timeout here following the face-off with 5:03 remaining in the first quarter. I believe the officials stopped the time here trying to figure out, Dan Doyle, our referee, trying to get some things corrected. Your officiating crew here today, folks, for our second game of the week, the referee, Dan Doyle, the umpire, Jason Gustin, and your field judge this afternoon is Trey Parker. And the weather has warmed up about 15, 17 degrees from the earlier game, Jim, as all 3 of the officials have decided to get rid of the jackets and go with the striped shirt here for the second game.
That's okay till you forget to put your shorts on.
Indeed.
Under your sweatpants.
Under your sweatpants. Now back in X with the Roadrunners. They used to have 50 on the shot clock. As Revenaugh is in X this time now. A turnover picked up by Cooper Harris for Oklahoma. But this time the Roadrunners get back. And holding up the ball because he was looking at a 2-on-3 situation was Josh Hovden. And he'll feed Mullendore goal line extended here on the near side as Oklahoma will set the offense. Approaching 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. And they still have 60 on the shot clock. Plenty of time to set up a play here for the Sooners.
Yeah, and the Sooners, their approach right now has to be forcing the Roadrunners into long-term purpose possessions and just kind of let them make a mistake and then take advantage and win that 50-50 ground ball.
So charging in now, Connor Stevens. He'll back up and dish to set Shep Myers, but the ground ball forgotten briefly by Daniel Connor. It's still loose. And now a penalty flag coming in on that play near midfield.
Yeah, you're going to get a cross check coming in with stick to the head, despite trying to check the ball, and you're going to get that called every time.
And that penalty will put Shep Myers in the penalty box for the next 60 seconds. So UT San Antonio now with their first man advantage of the game. And they'll look to capitalize and take their first lead. Or no, I'm sorry, they led earlier 1-0. So their chance to reestablish the lead since leading 1-0.
But if I'm UTSA, I'm trying to figure out how to move quick.
So that's how they scored that first goal with Luke Wardlow, and they get it in the middle right there very quickly. To number 0, Brandon Bethau. Or Banthau, I believe. 6'3", 270 pounds from Yuba City, California. And now Oklahoma on the attack shorthanded. Charging down here through the middle, that's number 28 with possession, Colin Singer, one of the captains of the team. But he'll lose the ball out of bounds. Nice defensive play there to force the turnover by UTSA.
Yeah, and then you have a half line pass, just goes out of bounds and turns the ball over.
Well, we saw several unforced errors in the first game between the Sooners and the Tigers, so I would expect here with this also being the opening game of the season for the Roadrunners, we may see some mental mistakes happen as well. So now Oklahoma will bring the ball in. It's inbounded by Ben Clyfton. Number 19, he's a 180-pound, 6-foot junior out of Tulsa. And they'll slow things down as Connor Stevens will hang on and let the offense set up with 65 on the shot clock as we have 2.5 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Josh Hovda down the far side. He'll go into X to Andy Schumann. Back to Hovda. They'll play the two-man game on the far side now. Back up top, that's number 20, Jackson Efforts. Efforts looking to move past Connor. Ball comes loose, but Schumann right there to scoop it up. He'll reset for Oklahoma as they still have 35 seconds. Big hit in the middle.
Nice athletic move.
Nice athletic move there by Stevens to keep possession for Oklahoma.
I mean, he drew a triple and was getting checks on him and
low shot. What a save by Colin Salinas. That looked like it was going in. A nice low shot by Stevens. But Salinas whips that big net over there and interrupts Stevens' plans to give Oklahoma the lead. And now UTSA will lose the ball on a foul. Oklahoma right back to work with 90 ticks remaining in the first quarter. Controlling up top for the Sooners, it's number 10, Austin Hurd. 6 foot, 190-pound graduate student out of Denver. And he finds Josh Hovda back to Schumann and X.
Yeah, in Oklahoma, I mean, they're wringing everything out of each possession. They are very purposeful about their approach on this offensive zone.
Less than a minute remaining here in the first quarter. And a new fresh shot clock as the ball turns over to UT San Antonio. So the shot clock no longer a factor here with 48 seconds to play in the opening quarter. As Szymanski uses that long pole to scoop up the ball for the Sooners. He'll come right down the middle on the attack looking for Mullendorf. Mullendorf will weigh his options, and he decides to hold on. He'll reset. Good defensive play right there by Evan McDonald for the Roadrunners to keep Mullendorf at bay.
Yeah, and they're doing a great job about recognizing on the perimeter these lanes and shutting that exposure down.
So Andy Schumann next comes back to Zach Mullendorf here on the near side. They go all the way back up top to Hovda. Hovda working with Justin Kuntz. Kuntz will come in and take a shot, and he'll score the go-ahead goal for Oklahoma with just 7.1 seconds to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, Kuntz fights off a nice little defensive stop from the pole. You'll see him come in here on this wing. He draws that hook and shakes it off, comes right into the next cover man over his top on the near side post. Can't play that any better.
So Kuntz with the goal here in the waning seconds of the opening quarter as the 6-foot, 180-pound midfielder out of Keller, Texas, a homegrown product here for Oklahoma, will give a 3-2 lead to the home team. Less than 5 seconds. Can they tie the score? No. Great save by Kyle Wolchuk. Brandon Banthal was right on the doorstep, and Wolchuk equal to the task, denying Banthal as the horn sounds ending our first quarter of play. And, folks, we've got the first 15 minutes in the books here from Carroll High School in Southlake as Game On Sports brings you live exclusive coverage of the Lone Star Alliance Game of the Week. Your score as we head to the second quarter. Here in our Game of the Week, it is Oklahoma Sooners 3, UT San Antonio Roadrunners 2. And even though, Jim, this is a Division I team in Oklahoma and a Division II team in UT San Antonio, nice, evenly matched game so far after 15 minutes.
Yeah, two completely different styles being played, and Oklahoma's very purposeful. They're trying to force their hand on defense, get UTSA to get out of this quick attack that they've been successful with in the early go, and it's nice to see this thing shake out the way it has, because not at all what I was expecting when I was watching warm-ups.
No, I mean, they have been lightning quick. You've got to give them credit for that. And what amazes me is that Banthal, like I said, 6'3", 270, he's as quick as any of them. He had a perfect opportunity there to get the ball by Wolchuk to tie the score right as the buzzer sounded, but a great save by Wolchuk to end the period and keep Oklahoma in front.
Yeah, a lot of that is you're going down, you're one-on-one with a goalie. He's reading your eyes. You can look away, shoot away. You can look at your target, but you got to be quick. And if you're not quick enough, he has time to adjust.
And Wolchuk did make the adjustment that he needed. So Oklahoma here with a 1-goal lead as they take a short break before they begin the second period. With the Sooners here in control, 3-2.
Yeah, Oklahoma's just looking to try and get that run of dominance, and I think if they can get a 2-goal lead, build on it, that may be all they need. But UTSA is not going away.
No, they didn't drive 5 hours just to get beat and go home. I mean, they're giving them everything they can so far. But with only, I believe, 1 or 2 subs here on the sideline, it'll be interesting to see how the conditioning is in this opening game of the season, and find out whether or not they run out of gas here as we get toward the later stages of the game.
Yeah, and what Coach Lundy's going to need to do is he's got to figure out how to transition some of his attack men up to pole, how to get that midfield line's going to run ragged at some point. You got to get these attack guys in. You got to get these the long poles in. Maybe transition a kid over to attack that was playing defense, or maybe move him up to midi. But at some point, it's the dam is going to break. I mean, the conditioning is either there or it's not.
So we're set to go here as James Michaud and Austin Herder in the center circle. And Michaud will leave the ball scooped up, but a whistle as Peterson tries to scoop up the ball. And they did have a penalty on the play as Dan Doyle has the flag in his hand. We'll check the call, and the call is going against UT San Antonio. So the second power play opportunity coming up here for Oklahoma to open quarter number 2.
No, I think you got OU in the you're going to get OU for a check to the head. So
that's right. They pointed. So they point at the bench, not the direction they're shooting.
UTSA's gonna get a man up here.
Okay, my apologies. I thought they went in the direction they're shooting. They actually point at the particular bench.
Yes, they call you out. This is not a gentleman's game. Don't make a mistake. You'll get outed for it.
So it is a man-up advantage for UT San Antonio, and we'll see if they can tie the game here. In the first minute, that shot deflected, picked up by Oklahoma, as the ball back to Kyle Wolchuk as he'll dish from goal. So now Oklahoma will go on the attack shorthanded, as we still have less than a minute gone here in the second quarter. A nice double team there on Cooper Harris, but Harris still comes up with the ball. Now it's loose. And charging in, that's number 9, Ben Claflin, to assume control for Oklahoma.
Yeah, Claflin just kind of waited out from the scrum till he saw that thing kind of show itself and jumped on that 50-50 ball for the win. Gives OU an opportunity to reset on the offensive end.
Shep Myers and Josh Hovda here on the near side. They'll work to Schumann and X as they start to set up that counterclockwise rotation. All the way back to Shep Myers. As the shot clock edging down, 15 on the shot clock. Schumann comes out of X goal line, extended to the far side. As Mullendorf will pass back up top, and Myers now back in control. Down to single digits on the shot clock. As you can hear the crowd outside counting it down, they scoop it back in front. And it's picked up by number 3 for UTSA, Cole Peterson. And some confusion there. A smart play by Daniel Connor to not pull that ball into his cross, leave it loose, so that way he doesn't get the over and back penalty at the midfield stripe. And a smart play there by Salinas to intercept that pass.
Yeah, Salinas came out to the edge of the crease, kept one leg in, one foot in, read that pass line, and got himself in the middle of that.
So now UTSA on the attack. They're shooting to the left in this second period. The low shot by Miles Revenaugh, scooped up by Kyle Wolchuk. Wolchuk quickly outlets. And on the attack right away for Oklahoma, that's number 28, Colin Singer. Hovda will provide a screen as Singer takes the ball into X with Andy Schumann. Zeke Mullendorf goal line extended on the far side now. 12 minutes to play before halftime. As Oklahoma continues to hang on to a 1-goal lead, they'll look to extend here. 50 on the shot clock for the Sooners. As now you'll see the speed on that counterclockwise rotation start to pick up. Also coming into the game, that's Connor Stevens. Up top with Jackson Ferris. Ferris, a low shot. Great save there by Salinas.
Yes, Salinas is keeping UTSA in this thing because there's a lot of those shots that would have got past as good a goalie, but he's doing a great job about keeping the Roadrunners live.
Oklahoma whistled for a quick foul there as San Antonio will take possession once again. And they'll start up top. Working with Miles Revenaugh. And number 2, Luke Wardlow. The 2 goal scorers in the game for the Roadrunners. Revenaugh with a shot as he moves into X, scoops up his own rebound, trying to get away from Xander Nelson. Now he'll try to wrap on the near side, goal line extended, stay put. He did draw iron on that shot, so it's a fresh shot clock, 65 now for the Roadrunners. As we still have just over 10:45 remaining here in the second quarter of this game of the week. A reversal there by number 9, Michaud. Now UTSA will reset as they're down to 40 on the shot clock. Peterson being marked by Szymanski. Now Peterson will get inside. He tries to find the middle. And triple teamed there in the middle. Oklahoma able to take control of the ball. But a whistle will stop play. And evidently another foul on Oklahoma will give San Antonio possession right back.
Yeah, you have a crease violation. Pole
stepped in the crease.
Was walking through and got forced to the into the crease.
So an unforced error there by Oklahoma as they had just worked hard to get possession back. But nice work there by that long stick midfielder, number 24. That's Mason Sincata to secure possession for Oklahoma. Bringing the ball up for the Sooners, that's number 17, Justin Womble. And he'll reset with Xander Nelson. So 9:40 remaining here in the first half, 3-2 Oklahoma. And they have just over 50 to work with on the shot clock. No team has led by 2 goals so far this afternoon. It's been a 1-goal lead for each team, but this is Oklahoma's opportunity here, Jim, as we've got 9.5 to play in the first half.
Yeah, and they're going. I mean, they're going to this sustained possession. They're gonna work around. They're gonna get their shots. They're gonna work on the perimeter.
They start up top, a low shot off the post. Oh, 2 shots off the post. First, it was number 10, Austin Hurd. And right there with the rebound, Connor Stevens. And Stevens' shot drew iron as well. So the backup goalkeeper doing work for UT San Antonio as the post making 2 saves on that possession.
Yeah, Salinas, again, very active in the crease. And you know, those shots were on iron, but that was about the only way they were getting in.
And another save there by Salinas. This time he controls the rebound. And UT San Antonio will take over as we're down to 6.5 minutes remaining in our second quarter.
Yeah, Salinas is quick. I mean, he picked that shot up, didn't get a clean save on it, rebounded, it got kicked back in, was able to get his stick up high enough to pick that up. So he's lightning quick back there.
Well, he'll have to guard goal once again as Josh Hovda will bring the ball into X4 Oklahoma. Oh, pardon me, that was 9:30. We're down to 8 minutes remaining here now as the sun shining directly on the scoreboard here at Carroll High School, making the somewhat dim digits on the scoreboard a little difficult to read.
Yeah, Salinas there again playing defense, saving himself a little bit, getting himself in the middle of that pass lane, breaking things up.
Yeah, I mean, he has deflected more than one pass today with that big net. Stevens tries the wrap around. And that shot wide, but it will be Oklahoma ball. And now the officials will stop play once again. 7:37 remaining in the half. Not sure what the stoppage of play here is. A scoring reset, perhaps, huh? And they need to reset the clock. So after they recover from the scorekeeping error, we're now playing here with, as we pass the midway point of the second quarter, a shot. And Salinas in perfect position there to block the shot by Mullendorf. Now Schumann on the far near side. As now Schumann has come out to the near side of the formation, putting Hovda next. They've traded places, Jim. And Andy Schumann had a nice shot there, but it was just barely wide.
Yeah, again, really Salinas kind of dictating what these guys are going to have to work with, but very active in the goal.
Now charging in that Shep Myers from the far side, another shot just wide of goal. And Hovda will bring the ball back in again for Oklahoma. Or no, that was Hovda just getting rid of a ball. It's actually a UTSA ball in the cross of number 10, Joaquin Ferrero. So Ferrero with the long stick, he'll get it forward. As Luke Wardlow tries to get the ball across the timeline. And now the Roadrunners back on the job for the first time in about 4.5 minutes of game time.
Yeah, Wardlow great on beating the triple to get clear. But UTSA takes care of the ball on these clears.
On the far side, that's Revenaugh dishing in for Peterson. And how he got that in between the right leg of Kyle Wolchuk and the pole is beyond me, but that's Peterson's second goal of the game, as UTSA will tie the score here at 3 with 6.5 remaining in quarter number 2.
Yeah, so he comes down on the dish on this outside. Nobody really on him. Goes low to high. Keeper was in late, 5-hole, and nothing but back of the net. But nice little zip on that to get that thing and bring it back to even.
So all tied up here at 3 now between Oklahoma and UT San Antonio. As Peterson now with 2 goals in the game for the Roadrunners. And it's been the same face-off specialist so far all game. Austin Hurd for Oklahoma and James Michaud for San Antonio. And this will be Oklahoma controlling the face-off. So now Oklahoma with a chance to reestablish that 1-goal lead as we approach 6 minutes remaining in the first half. Schumann now back in X as Mullendor with his familiar position far line, on the far side goal line extended. Connor Stevens in the game along with Justin Kuntz up top, as they'll start once again here with Schumann and Mullendor. Kuntz controlling again up top. Shot clock at 45. They'll feed Schumann looking in the middle for Hovda. But the defense, a nice collapse there by the San Antonio defense on Hovda, where he's essentially triple teamed. And a whiff without the stick by Connor Stevens. The ball bounces right to Mullendor, but his shot wide, but Oklahoma will control. As Schumann brings the ball back into play with 5:35 remaining in the half. And there's the goal that Oklahoma has been looking for all game, as Jason Kuntz with his second goal of the match. 4-3 advantage, Oklahoma.
Yeah, call it. Watch him call in. Sees that on the backside. Sees the confusion in the goal box. And Hoda calls in, finds that topside post to bleed, and just pops that in. Nobody on him. Had a couple of with Salinas adjusting inside the crease. Had a couple of places to go, and he picked that top corner.
And it was a wise choice there by Jason Kuntz, as he's now given Oklahoma the lead once again 4-3, as we have just over 5.5 minutes to play in the half. So Hurd battling Michaud here for the ball, and it will be Michaud winning the faceoff for San Antonio. So it appears that San Antonio is slowing things down here a little bit, Jim. They're not moving with quite the speed they were in the first probably 8 minutes of the game. I'm not sure if this is deliberate or if we're already starting to see conditioning taking its toll.
I would have to opt on the conditioning side, but certainly that takes one of the tools out of the bag for them, because they had great luck with these fast approaches.
And Wardlow comes in, and just as we say that, pops one behind the net. A nice bouncing shot to get that past Kyle Wolchuk. And just like that, UT San Antonio ties the game at 4.
Yeah, you see, he knows he doesn't have anybody on his hands, turns that corner, finds that area to run in, and just unloads in that little bitty lane to the near side post.
So knotted up here at 4 with 4:55 remaining in the half, as it's 2 goals apiece for the Roadrunners, number 2, Kyle Wardlow, and number 3, Cole Peterson. 3 different goal scorers for OU, as Hurd and Michaud will battle once again in the center circle. Clean face-off win for Michaud. And you had mentioned that in the open when you spoke with Coach Matthew Lundy of the Roadrunners, Jim. You said that was one of his number one game plan points here, was for Michaud to win at least 70% of the faceoffs in this game.
Yeah, I mean, they know they got to control the ball. They can dictate pace at that point, attack quickly, or sit back and set up. And obviously, they're having better luck on that quick approach. But if you don't have the ball, you don't have the opportunity to do either.
So Cole Peterson now controlling up top for UT San Antonio. And he'll start to work down low with Revenaugh. Revenaugh brings the ball back up top to number 2, Luke Wardlow. Wardlow trying to get away. Triple team. They force a ground ball, and Oklahoma with a ground ball win. Number 17, Justin Womble. So great work there by Womble.
Well, Wardlow ran into his own pick, unfortunately.
And the wind's starting to pick up quite a bit here at Carroll High School. As now UT San Antonio goes right back to work on offense with 3.5 remaining.
I believe we're sitting under the only rain cloud in Texas right now.
That may very well be true. I mean, this morning it was cold, it was misting, full cloud cover. Now there's just one giant cloud, and it appears to be sitting right above us here at Carroll High School. So that ball scooped up by the Sooners. As number 24, Mason Sincata will bring it across the line. On the attack, that's Cooper Harris. Schumann defers. Not sure where that pass was going. But Harris able to track it down, and Oklahoma maintains possession as we move under 3 minutes to play in the half.
I think he was looking for a sub coming in down on that wing, and the sub came late.
Yeah, it had the look to me of the equivalent of in football when the receiver makes the wrong choice on a choice route. He's in one spot and the football is somewhere else. So now Stevens controls back. He'll move back into X with Andy Schumann. It appears that Oklahoma likes to work from the far side. And a mom goal there into the back side of the net by John Coulter. Easily scooped up by Salinas. And San Antonio will control as we approach 2 minutes to play in the half. Oh, and a penalty right in front of the field judge. And Shep Myers knows it, as he is on his way to the sin bin after the big cross check right there on Miles Revenaugh.
Yeah, I think coming in on Revenaugh's head was really the thing. But I mean, it's
typically frowned on.
Yeah, it's like targeting. You have to adjust for the guy's height. He drops down. You're coming in for a chest high check, and he ducks under it.
Yeah, Myers not happy with himself,
it's a little
as you saw right there.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say anything. I know in a situation like that, I'm my own worst critic as well. So I think I would probably have slammed my helmet on the turf too. So a save by Wolchuk. Now he'll try to spring Oklahoma shorthanded. Charging ahead, it's number 29, John Coulter. Coulter looking for a shot. He'll offload. Oh, nice kick save by Salinas. That ball got by him, but he was able to whip that right leg and deflect it with his ankle.
Yeah, Salinas, solid stop. I mean, stood his ground, came out, cut his angle, and just rode the shot.
Now Andy Schumann with the steal on the inbound from the Roadrunners. He'll give Oklahoma control as we have 85 seconds remaining and 70 on the shot clock for the Sooners. So a difference on the shot clock and the game clock of about 13 seconds. So Oklahoma will come in on the attack here. I would think here they're going to try to work this possession very deep and try to take a one-goal lead into the half. We'll see.
Well, yeah, not just that. They're gonna assess a penalty after the shot. So
penalty flags
you
on
want
the ground.
to, if I'm Oklahoma, I'm gonna try and see if I can double dip it.
Stevens looking for a shot. Man, he scores. And there's the first half of the double dip. A nice wrister from number 2, Connor Stevens, the 5', 165-pound freshman from right here in Salina, Texas. And he'll make it 5-4 in favor of Oklahoma with the penalty to come.
Yeah, so watch him work edge in. Beats his lane, nobody on his hands. Salinas gives him nowhere to go, and he just takes that 6 inches inside the near crease or near pole, and a nice shot. Can't do any better than that.
And another timeout on the field, taken with 49.4 remaining. And it is UTSA. They'll take one of their 2 timeouts in the half. So each team has invested one of their 2 timeouts in this first half. So that's just how critical Coach Lundy thinks this last 50 seconds are to win this faceoff and try to score the tying goal right before the end of the half.
Well, not just that, you don't want to let OU get on a run, and they've been able to quell that today, and so if you pull down the possession, get the score, and make things happen, or at least stop the quick strike from OU, that's a little. Not the complete win, but certainly puts you in a better side.
Right. So here, 5-4 in favor. Well, no, actually, I forgot. There won't be a face-off here because it's going to be the penalty. So Oklahoma will start possession here. So really, Coach Lundy's trying to organize some defense here in order to keep it from being a 2-goal advantage before the end of the half.
Right. But I mean, regardless, you got a minute to work in, and you got to see what you can force their hand with.
So 49.4 remaining. Each team with 1 timeout remaining in the game. And following the penalty, well, I guess they're going to do away with the penalty because Oklahoma scored, because I don't see anyone sitting in the penalty box since they scored on the advantage play.
Looks like he might be taking advantage to the opportunity to get his ankle taped.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know.
So Michaud back into the face-off circle with Austin Hurd. As Michaud will try to win this face-off clean here with just under 50 ticks to play before halftime. And a whistle will give San Antonio possession, so this is just what the Roadrunners were looking for. As Michaud will leave the field, and Daniel Connor will control for the Roadrunners. They'll try to strike here before halftime, trailing by 1. Connor marked on the far side by Justice Briskin. They'll go back up top to Miles Revenon. Down to 30 remaining in the half. Shot clock no longer a factor. Revenon being marked there by Austin Hurd.
They're just going to sit perimeter till they decide to go.
Down to 20 seconds. Revenon looks for a shot. And first to it is Kyle Wolchuk. You had mentioned that earlier about the goalkeeper putting in the effort. He did. And now Oklahoma with a chance to open up a 2-goal lead with 15 ticks remaining in the half. They'll move it up quickly. Nice interception there by the Roadrunners. Revenon moving forward. 7 to play in the half. And he's dispossessed. Schumann looking to shoot. And the deflection by number 10, Joaquin Ferrero, as the horn sounds, bringing us to halftime. And ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of the first half of play here at Carroll High School in Southlake, Texas. As Game On Sports brings you live exclusive coverage of the Lone Star Alliance Game of the Week. And your score as we go to the halftime break here in the nightcap of our doubleheader at Carroll High School. It's Oklahoma 5, UT San Antonio 4. And, Jim, it was the goal, that last goal that puts Oklahoma ahead by 1, that wrister by Connor Stevens. That's the difference here at the halftime break.
Yeah, I mean, they're just swapping leads back and forth, and nobody's really establishing themselves offensively. You got 2 different styles, and one's an attacking style that seems to be working out okay, and OU is very focused, very driven as far as how they're working their offense, and they want to maintain possession, get that one shot, and make it be the right one.
Yeah, and that's been working for him so far here in the first 30 minutes. We'll see if it can hold as we move into the second half of play. And folks, we're going to take a short break here during halftime. We'll be back in about 7 minutes and bring you the exciting conclusion to this game. Oklahoma Sooners 5, UT San Antonio Roadrunners 4. You're watching the Lone Star Alliance Game of the Week right here on Game On Sports. We'll see you back for the second half.
Hello, goodbye. I think we had a good ride, but I'm done wasting my time. Both hands tied to your side, 'cause I can't help but confuse the things you want me to do for what I wanna accomplish in life. 29, I'm thinking I'm not good for you. You're not good for me. There's a better way. Why is it so hard to put you into the past? It's a matter of time. We both know this will never last. We were both 21. Our only motive was fun, but
Folks, we welcome you back here to Carroll High School in Southlake, Texas. Brian Shackelford here alongside Jim Dixon. And Jim, as we get ready for the second half of action here in our nightcap of the Game of the Week doubleheaders, a 5-4 lead here for Oklahoma over UT San Antonio. And I think when we were thinking about how this game would play out, and someone had told us it would be 5-4 at the halftime, we probably tell them they were insane. But what has been insane has been the goal work of the Roadrunner goalkeeper, Colin Salinas.
Yeah, I mean, that defense for UTSA and that quick strike offense has kept them in this, and I'm not shocked, but I mean, you know, hey, hats off to them. They that was a solid first half, and they're putting a good game together, and they're executing, and I think what it comes down to is Coach Lundy knows what he has and knows what he can do.
And Coach Lundy's team just trailing by a single goal as we get set here for quarter number 3. 5-4 the advantage for Oklahoma. And if you are the Oklahoma Sooners here, what your look here is to try to wear San Antonio down and make them, since they only have 2 substitutes, you're probably just trying to wear them down, attack quickly, and try to wear the Roadrunners out, I would think.
Yeah, you're going to try and tie up their middies on defense, get those guys worn down to a nub, have them chasing balls, and dictate the possession. And for the most part, Oklahoma has been successful. Now they just haven't been able to effectively go on a run, but there's still a half to cover, and that certainly could happen.
So we're set to get half number 2 underway as the teams will switch direction here for the third quarter. Austin Hurd in the faceoff circle with number 9 for UT San Antonio, James Michaud. And Michaud wins the faceoff circle. No, pardon me, that was 21. Justice Briskin, the Fogo specialist, who took most of the faceoffs in the opening game against LSU, as Miles Revenall will now control for the Roadrunners. And they'll run a few seconds off the shot clock. Take the shot clock down to probably about 75. And now they've got the shot clock reset at 74 as we'll resume play. Brandon Benthau working in X. They've got 2 men in X on this possession. They go back up top as Benthau is double teamed. Now Daniel Connor takes a goal line extended to the far side. And thinking better of pressing the attack, Luke Wardlow, he'll regroup here as we're down to 50 on the shot clock in the opening minute of the third quarter. Shot from distance right into the big mitt of Kyle Wolchuk. So Wolchuk with great positioning there, Jim, to thwart the shot by Wardlow.
Yeah, I like the lane. I like the selection. Probably would have wanted to get another couple of steps in before you unloaded, but I think you got to get the keeper guessing, and right now he's able to just set up shop and shut your lanes down.
So UT San Antonio on the attack as the ball gets away from Connor and picked up by number 28 for the Sooners, Colin Singer. Singer will dish back to Ferris, Jackson Ferris. And now Jackson Ferris will reset the attack for Oklahoma.
Again, OU setting up on the perimeter, working the clock, putting guys where they want them, and see if they can draw this mismatch.
Schumann coming out of X. They go back up top to Josh Hovda, who's working up top with Connor Stevens. Stevens looking for an angle on a shot, triple teamed. He'll try to go low, and somehow, a rare mistake there by Colin Salinas as that ball went off of his big net, and he deflected it into the net. But that gives Stevens his second goal of the match, and makes it Oklahoma 6, UT San Antonio 4.
Yeah, they set up on the perimeter here. He works off Connor, draws the double, finds that.
Yeah, that was just an unfortunate bounce for Colin Salinas. as he was trying to deflect it away, but instead deflected it into his own
Yeah,
net.
I think it just rolled through the net, and you know, those things, they're coming in pretty hot, so they still have a little bit of velocity once they hit something.
So now it's once again Austin Hurd in the face-off circle for Oklahoma, battling James Michaud. And this, a rare face-off win for Oklahoma, as Hurd will control for the Sooners. Sooners now up by 2 goals. The first 2-goal lead only the second 2-goal lead for either team today, as Oklahoma led by 2 goals earlier. Zach Mullendorf, wearing number 30, brings the ball all the way back up top. And as we move under 60 on the shot clock, it's Shep Myers, and Xander Nelson for Oklahoma. And up by 2 goals, it appears the Sooners are in no hurry. They're looking for that mismatch. Nelson, he'll try a shot from distance. That off the helmet of one of the UTSA players. You could hear that plastic thunk all the way up here in the booth.
Yeah, that's a tooth rattler.
So the ball out of bounds. It bounced all the way to the fence beyond the track. As now Nelson brings the ball back into play for the Sooners. We've got 2.5 minutes gone here in the third quarter. Mullendorf waiting by himself, goal line extended near side, back up to Myers. So that's one of the mistakes that I see here, is that UTSA gets the defense drawn too far over to one side, and Mullendorf's had 2 or 3 different opportunities all by himself over here, goal line extended away from the play.
Well, you're working a zone on that defense, and you're going to have to give up something, but you at least have pressure on the ball. You can pull a double. You have pressure on the ball, so you got to give up somewhere. And what that does is it forces OU to work those long passes to get that thing quickly. They just can't keep it in rotation.
And now the ball brought back into play, went out of bounds off of Oklahoma. And UTSA will now control. Charging in, that's Wardlow, who already has 2 goals in the game. The other 2 goals belong to Cole Peterson. A struggle for the ball in X, and that's won by number 24, Mason Sincata. Loose ground ball, scooped up by Nelson, or no, make that 20 rather, Jackson Efforts.
Yeah, Efforts lucked out from backside pressure coming in, and had 2 Roadrunners collide, which opened him up.
And a crease violation against Oklahoma will give the ball right back to UT San Antonio.
You know, the other overlooked side is these deep possessions. If you're going to force them to play the entire length of the field, that cuts down on their conditioning. You know, UTSA wants to force these turnovers midfield, put pressure on that. But if you're gonna take the ball deep, that's not exactly a loss.
No, not at all. As now Oklahoma will have possession. They get a fresh shot clock here with 10:30 to play in the third quarter. As number 4, Andy Schumann, working up top now. One of the rare times today that he has come out of X.
We'll have a UTSA assessment here as soon as we get some sort of stoppage.
Working up top, it's Connor Stevens along with number 25, Jackson Ferris. They are taking their time here because the penalty will be, as you mentioned, the penalty coming up for UT San Antonio. And that's a goal for Oklahoma, as they will now extend the lead to 3 goals at 7-4.
They're waving that penalty off.
Well, as Oklahoma scored on the advantage. So the goal there by number 22, Justin Kuntz. His 3rd goal of the match. So Kuntz now with a hat trick in the game for the Sooners. And it's now Sooners 7, Roadrunners 4.
Yeah, this is the point where UTSA needs to do something quick, keep themselves in this.
So Austin Hurd waiting to face off against James Michaud. And they'll face off here with 9:47 remaining in the third. As now the game's starting to get away from the Roadrunners. They trail for the first time by 3 goals. And an easy face-off win there for Oklahoma. As now Oklahoma setting up their defense at will. Connor Stevens will work up top. They come back to Shep Myers. Myers working on the near side. He'll try to charge in as they set up Mullendore goal line extended on the near side. Mullendore comes back up top, looking for Josh Hovden. Hovden and Stevens on the far side. And a whistle by the officials as the ball in the net of Salinas. And they'll stop the clock with 8:45 to play in the third. It looked like a penalty on the play, but they've chosen, Jim, here to wave it off.
Yeah, I don't know what the call was. It looked like a clean stop.
Now UTSA with the ball moving forward. Stopping the ball here on the near side on the attack, that's number 10, Joaquin Ferrero, and he'll lose the ball out of bounds, an unforced error to give possession to Oklahoma.
Yeah, Ferrero got tangled up on the sideline a little bit, trying to get that thing up in his stick and get going with it.
So now Oklahoma back on the attack. As they're down to less than 60 on the shot clock. Shep Myers coming down. He'll look in X for Schumann, and that errant pass out of bounds. That will give the ball back to UTSA here with just under 8 minutes remaining in the third.
Yeah, and again, UTSA needs to take these opportunities to stop the bleeding, see if they can claw back in this thing and not let it get out of hand right now.
So the goalkeeper, Salinas, or no, to make that, yeah, Salinas with possession being marked by Mullendore. Mullendore able to get the ball loose. And Mullendore will score. Salinas winning a call against Mullendore, but they won't get it. It's the second goal of the game for Mullendore. And now it's 4 unanswered goals by the Sooners as they open up an 8-4 lead.
Yeah, and as Oklahoma adjusts into this team ride, really kind of forcing the hands of UTSA. They know that pressure's going to drain on their conditioning and hopefully give them a leg up, and certainly head in the right direction for the Sooners.
So the Sooners now have doubled up the Roadrunners in this third quarter. I mean, they've had the last 4 goals. It was a tie game at 4, a 5-4 game here at the half, and now as we play approaching the midway point of quarter number 3, it's now 8-4 in favor of the Sooners. number 6. Miles Revenaugh charging in.
Again, just that pressure of having to fight off, two defenders you're leaning on. It's not just your body weight, but having to push against 2 other guys, and that's got a long-term weigh on these attacks from UTSA.
So Mullendore, another chance, and he scores again. That's 2 consecutive goals from Mullendore. Mullendore now with a hat trick, and that one was just way too easy, Jim, as Mullendore scores from point-blank range to make it 9-4 advantage for Oklahoma.
Yeah, he picks it up goal line out on the wing, works his way inside, has to beat one man, fakes top corner, and then gets Salinas crossed up and just dumps it in that lower top hole, and hard to beat that.
And now a timeout taken by UTSA. They'll burn their second timeout as we are just past the midway point here of period number 3. And if you're Coach Matthew Lundy, now that your team has allowed 5 unanswered goals, I guess you're trying to just slow things down here a little bit and see what you can do.
I think really probably it's more of a get back focused, catch a breather, get everybody on the same page, and figure out where you can start clawing out to get back into this thing. But you got to stop the bleeding. You got to just shut down Oklahoma's offense, and that offense is. I mean, they are taking full advantage of the conditioning.
Oklahoma with a much larger roster, as we said. UT San Antonio only dressing 17 players for today's game. Oklahoma carrying 35 on their roster, so doubling them up. And now as the time has finished on the timeout, 6:47 to play here in the third quarter. And UT San Antonio definitely with some work to do to try and turn this game around.
Yeah, you're only a few minutes removed from having this thing still be in question, and now now you're sitting there and you're looking at this extensive run that Oklahoma's put up, and you have to stop it, and hey, it's hard to get it. You don't want these kids to get down. You want to keep them competitive and remind them, hey, you're a D2 team, but you still need to come up and play.
So now the face-off, as Michaud will win this face-off cleanly for the Roadrunners. And he'll try to slow things down to put the Roadrunners on the attack. Holding the ball for UT San Antonio, number 13, Daniel Connor. Less than 60 on the shot clock now for the Roadrunners as the game clock approaches 6 minutes to play in the third. Still 9-4 the advantage. As coming down the near side, Cole Peterson with 2 goals in the game. And forcing the yard sale there. Number 17 for the Sooners, Justin Womble.
Yeah, Womble just got back behind him, lifted that stick, and just shredded that possession.
Charging down the far sideline now with the ball, number 16, George Arnold. He'll go back into X with Andy Schumann. And now Oklahoma in full control here as we move under 6 minutes remaining in the third. And they're definitely taking their time getting personnel on the field. Charging in, that's number 20, Jackson Efforts. A nice save there by Salinas on the shot, and quickly they'll outlet. The Roadrunners move on the attack here as we approach 5 minutes to play in quarter number 3.
Yeah, Efforts didn't have the best shot there.
Banthal shot. Oh, what a save by Wolchuk. A great feed from Wardlow to number 0, Brandon Banthal. And now we've got some problems as Banthal took down Wolchuk, the goalkeeper, and we've got a bit of a fracas here between the two teams. The clock stopped with 4:55 remaining. in the third quarter.
You know, Wolchak's out of the crease trying to pick up the ball, and you know, at that point he's a player.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, Wolchuk's still down on the turf.
see Wolchak go for the ball.
Oh, there you go. Oh,
Yeah,
cross check right under the chin.
Betheo, yeah, just got him under the chin.
So the officials are going to take a minute to sort this out because several players were involved in pushing and shoving over here on the near side goal line extended on the north goal. So this may take us a few minutes to sort out, Jim, as I'm assuming coming out of this there will be multiple penalties against both teams.
Yeah, they'll be serving some minutes. You can look at it this way: if you're UTSA and you're serving time, you're getting rest. So
You're getting a little bit of a breather. So now we'll watch the officiating crew here as they come to the bench and inform us of the infractions at hand. As referee Dan Doyle will mete out the penalties. And both coaches being called over for a conference. Not what you want to see when you're...
no, that's generally not a good sign.
So in the conference right now with the three officials, it's head coach Corbin Bennett of the Sooners and head coach Matthew Lundy of the Roadrunners. So a big fracas here after Kyle Wolchuk, the Oklahoma Sooner goaltender, took a cross check right under the chin from UTSA's Brandon Mantow. And the clock stopped with 4:55 to play here in the third quarter. Oklahoma leading 9-4 as the officials are trying to sort all of this out.
Well, a lot of the stuff after the play could be deemed game misconduct, but
let's see, I don't know that we ever saw any penalty calls being made. We'll have to double check on that.
we seem to be still hashing it out.
Yeah, that may be. Oh, okay, I see. Dan Doyle and Jason Gustin, the referee and the umpire, are still hashing things out with the table. So not what we expected here, Jim. Usually you don't see this in LSA play, but then again, you normally don't have your goalkeeper take a cross check right under the chin. So it looks like we're ready to resume play here. And the damage having been done, so in the sin bin for Oklahoma, that's number 4, Andy Schumann. And in the penalty box for UTSA, number 0, Brandon Banthau. And one other player, we'll try to get a number on him if we can. So it will be a man-up advantage overall as UTSA down 2 men and Oklahoma down 1 man here with 4:55 remaining in the third quarter.
I saw no signals, but my best assumption would be that they're unreleasable. So
yes, they'll play out the entire penalty regardless of how many goals are scored during that time. So now we're back underway, just under 5 minutes. Oklahoma with the steal. And they'll go right back on the attack. Another whistle stopping play, and possession given back to UT San Antonio.
yeah, that errant pass went out of bounds. OU looking to go quick.
They'll charge in and right into triple coverage. It's Connor Stevens. They'll reset the shot clock, and Oklahoma will get a fresh 80. And maintain possession here as we now have 4.5 minutes to play in the fourth period. Different personnel in the game now here for Oklahoma, along with Shep Myers up top. That's number 30, Zeke Mullendorf. So Mullendorf just shifting positions, as now Connor Stevens has taken Mullendorf's familiar place here, goal line extended on the near side. And the game clock down, or pardon me, shot clock down to 50. A low shot by Stevens, nice save by Salinas. Doesn't keep a hold of the ball. And nice yeoman's work there by Stevens to pull that away and maintain possession, but a loose ground ball won by the Roadrunners. Now Roadrunners on the attack as we move under 3:40 to play in the third. A nice flip to Daniel Connor. Connor looking for the shot, but he waited too long. And getting in there to make the block is Mason Sincata.
Yeah, he had an opportunity to pull out, dodge around, go lefty. That side opened up. Nobody was there to pick him up.
So now UTSA will reset. They've got a goal line extended on the far side as they come back up top with Cole Peterson wearing number 3. They look for, looks like it's Banthau, so everybody back in the game except for Andy Schumann. Both penalties have expired for UTSA. So now the Roadrunners with a man advantage. And Wardlow, now penalty flags come in as Wardlow took not 1 but 2 sticks in the head. And it looks like this might be a very brief 2-man advantage for the Roadrunners, with 2:56 remaining in the third. As Jason Gustin will give the penalty call. And it is against Oklahoma for obstruction. So this now a 2-man advantage. San Antonio must capitalize here to try and dig into this 5-goal advantage. Revenaugh going goal line extended to the far side, back up top. Now they find Revenaugh once again right on the doorstep. Some quick passing here by San Antonio as they look for an open shot. And is that a goal by Daniel Connor? And it is.
Yeah, Connor came unattended there on this top wing as everybody, the entire Oklahoma defense shifted over to play that 3-man game that they set up. And Connor with a nice, handy little one-timer there right in the right of the seat of the goal. You also have a goalkeeper coming in off the bench. Really didn't warm up.
Oh, that's true. A new goalkeeper in the game. That's number 8, Kevin Hayes, a 6', 180-pound senior from Highland Park here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. taking over for Kyle Wolchuk. So now 9-5, the advantage for Oklahoma as the ball goes out of bounds. So an unforced error there by Oklahoma will give UTSA a chance to bite into this lead even further, as we have just under 2.5 remaining in the third quarter. Roadrunners find Daniel Connor once again here on the near side.
I would think Connor would be drawing some attention by now, but apparently not.
And there's still a man advantage for San Antonio, as it appears that Andy Schumann earned himself a 5-minute penalty. Revenaugh goal line extended. He'll try to switch places with Banthau. Banthau giving him protection. Now a quick pass looking for Peterson. And Peterson took too long to wind up as that shot was blocked up front by Landon Szymanski for Oklahoma. Brought back into play by, I believe that's Revenaugh in X, as he's marked by Szymanski. He'll get inside Szymanski a shot, and that shot by Wardlaw just wide.
Nice handy dodge.
Yeah, and that is Revenaugh that will bring the ball back in play for the Roadrunners, as we have 98 ticks to play here in period number 3. So the penalty finally expiring to Andy Schumann. Equal strength here now for both teams, as the clock moves into the final 90 seconds of the third quarter. And a cramp, it looks like, for Revenaugh, as he let go of the ball and picked up by Josh Hovda of Oklahoma. And Hovda working with Andy Schumann, who had sat out for quite a bit there on the 5-minute penalty. And now the officials will call an injury timeout with 66 seconds remaining in the third.
Yeah, they let it go a little long, but regardless, so now you got to swap. You got to look at swapping an attack back into, or a midfielder back into attack.
And Miles Revenaugh will get some assistance to the sideline. They do, and that's one of his two. Actually, it looks like Coach Lundy isn't even going to sub for him, so they're going to play one man down with Revenaugh injured, as there are still 2 additional subs on the sideline. So now UT San Antonio playing a man down due to injury inside the final minute of the third quarter. Schumann in X, working on number 4, Lucas Felius. And they go back up to Shep Myers. Now it's Kuntz coming in from the left side, goal line extended. Save Salinas. The rebound to Hovda, and another great save by Colin Salinas.
Yeah, nice way to pick up your rebound. Unfortunately, not able to have a clean save off the first shot. But if you're working hard on those 50-50 balls, it doesn't really matter.
And the ball out of bounds off of Oklahoma. So it will be UTSA to bring the ball down here. They still have 28 seconds remaining in the third to see if they can cut this down to just a 3-goal lead going into the fourth. Luke Wardlow being covered there by Ben Claflin. He'll give it a second for the defense to show up as he looks to get a screen from number 20, Nicholas Wingate. Wardlow down to 8 seconds. Charging in all by himself. Low shot and a goal. Great individual effort there by Luke Wardlow. He just bullied his way through 4 different Oklahoma defenders to make it a 9-6 contest with 4.2 to play in quarter number 3.
Yeah, and he picked up the late defender coming in. He had to fight off his hands. Nice strength to get that thing off.
I mean, you see the third, and there's the 4th defender that Wardlaw gets past and goes 5-hole on Kevin Hayes. And this is a much more manageable game than it was just a few minutes ago. 2 unanswered goals here by the Roadrunners make it Oklahoma 9, UT San Antonio 6, with 4.2 remaining in the third.
Yeah, I mean, and to change your keeper up just really may have upset the apple cart for Oklahoma. They had no choice in the matter regardless, but, you bring out a cold goalie and, you got to figure out how to get him hot quick.
And we'll see if that is a significant change here as the horn sounds, ending our third quarter of play. Folks, we have 3 quarters in the books here this afternoon from Carroll High School in Southlake, Texas, as Game On Sports brings you live exclusive coverage of the Lone Star Alliance Game of the Week. Your score as we head to quarter number 4 here in Southlake: Oklahoma Sooners 9, UT San Antonio Roadrunners 6. And we'll be back with the final 15 minutes right after this.
Hello, goodbye. I think we had a good ride, but I'm done wasting my time. Both hands tied to your side, 'cause I can't help but confess the things you want me to do for what I wanna accomplish in life. 29, I'm thinking I'm no good for you. You're no good for me. There's a better way. Why is it so hard to put you into the past? It's a matter of time. We both know this will never last. We were both 21. Our only motive was fun, but then we loaded that gun, trampled on what was young, and it just occurred to me that I've been wasting away. I think I'm finally good to move on.
And folks, we welcome you back here to Southlake Carroll High School. Along with Jim Dixon, this is Brian Shackelford as we're set to bring you the final 15 minutes of action here from the LSA Game of the Week. And a furious charge here by UT San Antonio. The last 2 goals they have scored in this contest to make it 9-6. Oklahoma, we had been talking about fits and starts all day long, Jim, and one team needed to make a run. Well, Oklahoma did that with 5 unanswered goals after the score was tied 4-4 and a 5-4 at halftime. But now it's 2 goals from UTSA and only a 3-goal advantage for the Sooners as we open the final 15 minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, UTSA's taking advantage of a cold keeper, and it's paying dividends in the short. I don't know how that's going to work out for them long term, but OU's defense needs to shut these lanes down and keep UTSA pushed to the perimeter, where they have to force their hand and extend this game.
And the Sooners will control here to open quarter number 4. As charging in, that's Kuntz. He already has 3 goals. Make that 4, as that was just way too easy for Justin Kuntz. And he gets back one of the goals that Oklahoma lost at the end of the third. It's now Sooners 10, Roadrunners 6.
Yeah, Kuntz with a nice little score. You'll see him. He comes off this check, gets his hands free, comes in and realizes pressure's coming a little far out, and just goes low to low, keeping Salinas guessing.
And now 10-6, the advantage for Oklahoma. As once again in the center circle. This time it's number 21, Justice Briskin with Michaud. And Michaud wins the faceoff. He'll quickly get rid of it to Daniel Connor.
drew a push in the back, and we'll get that assessed.
A low shot. Bouncing away from the backup goalkeeper in the game for Oklahoma, Kevin Hayes.
Yeah, Daniel Connor kind of looked unexpected. He thought that was in and thought he had that beat, and it ended up right back at his feet.
So the ball out of bounds as UT San Antonio will try to bring it back into play. So they come back up top. That's Miles Revenaugh, who was cramping earlier. Looks like they got some fluids in him. Still working on the near side. The shot clock down to 50 for the Roadrunners. They need another goal here to bring it back down to a 3-goal lead for Oklahoma.
UTSA's trying to work the three-man game on the low side.
Double teamed as he moves inside. Forced out. That's the UT San Antonio. That's Wardlow. That was forced out. He's got 3 goals in the game now. Revenaugh back up top. 19 on the shot clock for the Roadrunners. And they put that one in the net as it's a goal for UT San Antonio with 12:42 remaining.
Yeah, Revenaugh got off his man, got his hands free, and just popped that thing on the upside. Sits there, draws the soft coverage, finds that lane, and just blasts the back of the net.
So Miles Revenaugh, the 6', 190-pound junior from Molino, Oregon, in the scorebook here for UT San Antonio. It's now Sooners 10. Roadrunners 7. So another face-off win for Michaud. So that is one thing right there, Jim, that Coach Lundy wanted to do today that for the most part has been successful, is James Michaud winning the vast majority of these face-offs for UTSA.
Yeah, I mean he's been on the point, and you know, nice. It's a nice way for them to build. Certainly, they got to close the door, but you know, they have the opportunity here.
So another opportunity here for UTSA. Oh, loose ground ball, scooped up one by number 5 Cooper Harris of the Sooners. As we have 3 minutes gone here in the final stanza this afternoon at Carroll High School. 10-7, the advantage for Oklahoma. A shot scooped away by Hayes. That was a hard shot by number 4, Lucas Felius, but it just couldn't find the twine. But San Antonio will bring the ball back into play, and they will get a fresh 80 on the shot clock as Felius drew iron with that shot.
Yeah, nice shot, nice setup from UTSA. You know, to rework the ball after the turnover out on the perimeter. But you know, you've got a couple of Sooners in your rearview mirror, and you know you're at least a man up.
So a shot there by Wardlaw trying to go over the top of Szymanski, and that's tough to do, as Wardlaw just 6'4", but Szymanski, a behemoth there with that long stick at 6'6". And now Oklahoma back on the attack as Andy Schumann works in his familiar position and acts back to Mullendor on the far side. As Oklahoma will try to add another goal and reestablish a 4-goal lead, as we're down to 11 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Trading places, that's Connor Stevens now in X. trying to move it forward with number 29, John Coulter. And a crease violation against Oklahoma will give San Antonio new life with 10:42 to play.
That actually takes one off the boards.
Yeah, that was a goal. Comes right back off the board due to the crease violation, as it's firmly pointed out, fresh shot clock. Yeah, Jason Gustin very emphatic that that was a crease violation and not a goal for Oklahoma. So Cole Peterson now working up top, being marked by Jackson Ferris. A loose ground ball. And Szymanski decleated by UT San Antonio. Point blank shot missed by Revenaugh. Now a penalty flag coming in. And Dan Doyle will stop play here with 9:53 as we've got a penalty call coming up.
Yeah, I think you got a check coming back in, and definitely Bentheo has a bit of a target on his back.
Yeah,
they are aware of him.
Yeah, I do believe that Brandon Bentheo earned himself some special privileges for the rest of this game after the heavy cross check underneath the chin of Wolchuk earlier. We'll check and see if there's a penalty call being assessed here. And there is a penalty against Oklahoma. So a little too much retaliation by the Sooners. And the last thing they want to do here is give San Antonio a man advantage, and they have with 9:53 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, there's still a lot of time. I mean, UTSA has ate into that brief run that Oklahoma made that probably would have put most squads away, and they just figured out how to claw back in it and take their time.
Dan Doyle fetching the ball from out of bounds, putting it back into the cross of Luke Wardlow. And now Wardlow and his Roadrunners go on the job to try and cut this to a 2-goal lead. They look for Connor cutting in. And a penalty on the backside there. Just a foul by Ben Claflin will give possession and a fresh shot clock back to the Roadrunners.
The Roadrunners have done an excellent job here in the second half of isolating the game, figuring out how to open stuff up, give a little bit of misdirection, and find things to open up on the top side or the opposite side.
Going to try a centering pass here. Oh, right in the face of Szymanski. Into the face of Daniel Connor, begging for a penalty call, getting nothing. That looked to be a little bit too aggressive to me, and I'm 100 feet away up here in the booth. So now Wardlaw with possession. As it's a low shot by Connor, just wide of goal. And it'll be brought back into play by Revenaugh for the Roadrunners.
Hayes did a great job of sealing that lane off, knowing where defenders were and just covering that 2 feet in the box that he needed to work with, forcing that shot wide.
Wardlaw goal line extended as it's Revenaugh working in X. They go back up top to Wardlaw, 30 on the shot clock. He'll offload to Peterson. Peterson with a shot. And that's just to the near side of goal. So Revenaugh bringing the ball back in, looking for Wardlaw as he cuts inside. But Wardlaw denied by number 28, Colin Singer, and that puts Oklahoma back on the offensive end. Although some great work there by UT San Antonio, they get it right back. So UT San Antonio not quitting here. They trail by only 3, and we still have 8.5 minutes of lacrosse. Plenty of time for the Roadrunners.
No, Connor came in and had a nice little strip there right at the midline. He didn't get a hold of the stick, but it was enough to cause Wardlaw to kind of go out of balance and cause the turnover, and UTSA rolls right back into the offensive zone.
So the ball brought back into play by Brandon Benthau. And just under 60 on the shot clock for the Roadrunners as we have 8 minutes remaining, just over. Still a 3-goal advantage for Oklahoma. Revenaugh trying to press his advantage. Now he'll try to take a low wrister as Banthal quick enough with his cross to save possession for the Roadrunners. Revenaugh back in X. He'll try to wrap around, hit by Szymanski. Try to go back inside, now double teamed right on the edge of the crease. And they'll reset the shot clock. A fresh 80 for UT San Antonio. Game clock now approaching the midway point of this fourth quarter. As Oklahoma now will try to increase the lead.
They're going to work on the perimeter here and see if they can draw UTSA out to open up the middle.
They come back to goal line extended on the far side with Zeke Mullendorf. And now Schumann and X looking for someone to dish to as the clock moves under 7 minutes. Schumann back to Mullendorf. They look for a cutting Austin Hurd, but the pass just off the mark and the turnover to UTSA with 6:49 to play in the fourth.
Not what you wanted to do, but you're eating up clock, and that's good enough for the Sooners at this point.
So the Sooners trying to chew some clock, and San Antonio looking for 3 goals. As now number 10, the long stick midi, Joaquin Ferrero with possession. They'll go back and forth, and now an unforced error will give the ball right back to the Sooners. Hovda to Andy Schumann. Andy Schumann one-on-one with Salinas, and he'll score. So Andy Schumann puts his second goal in the net. And that is just disastrous for UT San Antonio, as it's now back to 11-7, a 4-goal advantage for the Oklahoma Sooners.
Yeah, Salinas comes in, or Schumann comes in, forces Salinas out to cut that lane down, and he was reading his eyes, just didn't get on the shot, just missed the shot by just a portion of a second, just a little bit too late.
So now Oklahoma having reestablished a 4-goal advantage here with 6:29 to play in the fourth quarter. As it's James Michaud back in the center circle on the faceoff, along with Justice Brisket. Michaud wins the faceoff clean. And now San Antonio with even more work to do, trailing by 4 as we approach 6 minutes remaining in the contest. Miles Revenaugh comes back to Luke Wardlow. Wardlow trying to get away from Szymanski. High shot over the top of the net. And it looks like Oklahoma's strategy here is to just put Szymanski on whoever has the ball and say, try to get away from me and take a shot.
Yeah, and that coupled with the physical play on defense.
And that shot wide of goal, but the only person back there, an Oklahoma Sooner, number 29, John Coulter, and he'll give possession back to Oklahoma as we have less than 6 minutes to play here in our second game of the week, live on Game On Sports. So now the clock put back in play as UT San Antonio will inbound. So UT San Antonio, Jim, they have their opportunities here. They just haven't been able to capitalize, as Szymanski has pretty much just shut down anything close inside the crease. Revenaugh shot, and Szymanski will dish that over to Kevin Hayes. So it's not from a lack of trying, it's just a lack of execution so far on the part of the Roadrunners in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, and I wonder how much of that is just losing steam.
Right, because like I said, they only have 3 subs on the bench, so it's been a Herculean effort here today for the Roadrunners with just over 5 minutes to play. Not a lot of fresh legs, you would think, at this point, out there in orange and navy for San Antonio. Mullendore up top for a change. He'll feed down low with number 20, Jackson Efforts. And Andy Schumann and next comes to Josh Hovda here on the near side wearing number 1. As Mullendore will control up top with the shot clock under 40 for the Sooners. And the game clock dipping under 5 minutes to play. Oklahoma here in no hurry as they lead by 4. Mullendore, goal line extended near side, centering pass. And Hovda upset with himself. He was right. He was in a perfect spot and just couldn't put it in the net.
Right where he wanted to be, just a little slow on that. Drug that to the top side of the pipes.
So bringing the ball back into play. Number 13, Xander Nelson. And that shot, loose ball, picked up by Joaquin Ferrero. And now Ferrero controlling for UTSA. And as the clock gets 4:20 remaining, the Roadrunners need a goal here pretty quickly to have any hope of tying this game. A big hit on Salinas by Schumann. And the ball goes out of bounds. It's a turnover to Oklahoma. On an overrule here on the call, the umpire, Jason Gustin, gave the ball to Oklahoma, but Dan Doyle over here with a different call that overrules the call of Gustin, and it looks like San Antonio will be awarded possession.
Yeah, you should have had some contact on the on Salinas there on that play, but I'm not looking at it.
And the shot clock reset as we now have just under 4 minutes to play in the match. Oklahoma still leading by 4 goals. Zach Mullendore pushing away number 1, Michael Say of the Roadrunners to get possession for the Sooners. As Justin Kuntz will dish back off to Connor Stevens for Oklahoma. They go back up top, Xander Nelson now, 53 on the shot clock. And 3.5 remaining in the match here at Carroll High School. A left-handed shot, jumping over the crease on the shot by Kuntz. That goes wide, and Salinas will kick it back out. Ground ball opportunity. And it will be controlled by Oklahoma as Schumann will scoop that up. So Schumann giving Oklahoma new life and a fresh shot clock, as we're now down to 3 minutes remaining in our fourth quarter. Josh Hovda and Andy Schumann on the near side. They'll get it over to Zeke Mullendore. Now they're just kind of playing keep away at this point and probably willing to take the violation, but it looks like a shot opportunity here for Jackson Efforts, but it goes wide. Schumann back there to secure possession for Oklahoma.
Yeah, Salinas kind of losing track of the man in X.
And backing out to reset with just under 40 on the shot clock is Efforts. Now he looks for Mullendore. Mullendore near side, and he puts it in the net. That's the 4th goal of the game for Zeke Mullendore. And that might just be the 1 goal too many, as it's now Oklahoma 12, UTSA 7 with 2:23 to play in the match.
Yeah, they disseminate out to the wing. Really nobody to beat. Nobody picked the man up on the run. Had his hands free, got the hammer up, and just dropped it on the near side post.
So back to a 5-goal advantage for Oklahoma with just over 2 minutes remaining in the match. As now once again it will be Austin Hurd to face off with James Michaud. So Mullendore has been just earning his money or earning his paycheck over there, goal line extended on the right side. He did it over here in the first half, and now in the second half he may have just put this game away for the Sooners. Loose ball. Lost out of bounds by the Roadrunners. And Oklahoma will now have possession with 2:11 remaining.
Oklahoma's pretty much more concerned with the clock at this point than
I think their main
clock and possession.
Yeah, I think their main objective here is to take time off the clock as we now have 90 seconds remaining in the fourth, and another goal for Oklahoma, and this time it's Andy Schumann. Schumann earns himself a hat trick for the Sooners this afternoon, and it's the largest lead of the game so far. Now 13-7 advantage Sooners.
Yeah, different personnel, same shot, same package. Comes in loose off the wing. Nobody picks him up late. Drops the hammer just right in the backside.
So a 13-6 lead now for Oklahoma with 92 seconds remaining. And they lost the first game by 4, but it looks like they'll be victorious here in the nightcap and split this doubleheader here at Southlake, at Carroll High School here in Southlake. So a 1-1 start here coming up for the Sooners to open the 2025 campaign in the Lone Star Alliance.
Yeah, if you're Oklahoma, your first two rattles out of the bag, and you pull up 500, I would be happy. The thing is, UTSA has an awful lot, to think about on that drive home. I mean, they have a lot of good things happening. That first half was outstanding. Salinas, other than the last 3 minutes, has played an outstanding game.
Well, it's just been, I think, a little bit too overwhelming as the defenders in front of him have gotten tired and not giving him the coverage that he needs. A shot low, and there's a quick goal as number 9. I believe that was number 9. We'll check and see. Or maybe that was 6, Revenaugh. We'll check on it. It was Revenaugh with his second goal of the game. And Revenaugh will now make it 13-8 advantage Oklahoma.
Picks up on the late pole cover, gets free, runs right side, a lengthy shot down that lane. Nobody closed up and nobody picked him up and nobody got on his hands.
So we'll head back to the circle here with 68 seconds remaining. Oklahoma Sooners 13, UTSA 8, as Michaud wins another quick face-off. Knocked down by Oklahoma, and bringing the ball back, number 16, George Arnold for Oklahoma. And they can just play keep away here as they've got more shot clock than game clock as we're inside the final minute of the fourth quarter. But the ball lost out of bounds, and UT San Antonio gets another opportunity with 50 seconds remaining. So we won't worry about the shot clock anymore as UT San Antonio needs 5 goals. That might be too much, too little, too late, but we'll see as Revenaugh comes in on the attack from the near side. He'll try to pivot on Arnold. Instead, he'll dish to Wardlow. And Wardlow's shot just barely wide. It goes out of bounds with 34 seconds to play. Wardlow coming in near side goal line extended, trying to get away from Szymanski and get off a shot. Gets a low shot and scores. So great individual effort there by Luke Wardlow. He's got 4 goals in the game. And it probably won't help San Antonio win this game, but it will look a little bit better cosmetically as with just under 26 seconds to play, it's now Oklahoma 13, UTSA 9.
Yeah, Wardlow just on this spin dodge comes around, goes low to low, and a keeper unable to catch up to it, set up high. But nice read from Wardlow to pick up the placement on the goalie as he crossed.
So another clean face-off win here for Michaud. 22 seconds. Can they get another? Michaud charging down the far side. Down to 18 seconds. He'll get off and allow someone else to come on as there's now 10 seconds to play in the match. And it looks like Oklahoma will win the second half of this doubleheader and put their first win in the books for 2025. And they'll just hold on to the ball as the horn sounds, ending this evening's game. Ladies and gentlemen, the final horn is sounded here at Carroll High School in Southlake, Texas, as Game On Sports has brought you live exclusive coverage of the Lone Star Alliance Game of the Week. And your final score here this evening from Carroll High School: Oklahoma Sooners 13, UT San Antonio Roadrunners 9, and a 5-4 game at halftime. But in the second half, it looks like the lack of depth on the San Antonio bench bit them, and Oklahoma just pulls away, outscoring UTSA in this second half 8-5 and they take home the 13-9 victory here this evening.
Well, and your statement's accurate. I mean, I don't know that it's conditioning, but it is depth, and that certainly played a part in it. They just ran out of bodies to throw at it. But UTSA, outstanding first half, great defensive play from their goalkeeper Salinas, but nice game all around on defense. And if they just had more guys to work with, I think they may have something. But at D2, D2, you always run into that juggernaut at Missouri State. So, that
the behemoth that is the Missouri State Bears.
Yeah, so we'll see how it happens. But definitely an improved squad from what I've seen in the past from UTSA and Oklahoma. They're throwing bodies at it. And the roster counts up, and they've got a number of quality players.
They do indeed. And big scoring days for 3 players. Number 22, Justin Kuntz with 4 goals. Number 30, Zach Mullendor with 4 goals. And 3 goals for Andy Schumann. 2 goals added by Connor Stevens for OU. And that's all 13 on the board today for the Oklahoma Sooners. And, Jim, your final thoughts as we say goodnight here from Southlake on what turns out to be a dominating win by the Oklahoma Sooners.
Hey, a great game, great stuff to see from UTSA, and good for Oklahoma to get set up on this 1-1 split and end up 500 on the day for the season, and they have a lot of stuff they can build on.
And Oklahoma improves to 1-1 on the season. San Antonio falls to 0-1. And folks, we want to remind you as we say good evening here from Southlake that we will be carrying the entire 2025 season of Lone Star Alliance Lacrosse right here for you on Game On Sports. Be sure and tune back right here every Saturday for the Lone Star Alliance Game of the Week. You can get that schedule and more by following our website at GameOnSportsNetwork.com. And also, the one website that you need to know for everything happening here in the Lone Star Alliance. Stay up to date with scores, standings, news, and more on all 3 divisions. That website is mcla.us/LSA. That's the Lone Star Alliance, part of the Men's Collegiate Lacrosse Association. And as we say goodnight, folks, we want to remind you that today's Lone Star Alliance Game of the Week is a copyrighted production of Game On Sports Network. And the Lone Star Alliance, copyright 2025, all rights reserved. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of the pictures and accounts of this Game of the Week without the express consent of the Lone Star Alliance and Game On Sports Network is strictly prohibited. Well, that will wrap up our doubleheader today from Carroll High School in Southlake, Texas. We want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for spending a little bit of your Saturday with us, and we'll see you back next Saturday afternoon for another Lone Star Alliance Game of the Week right here on Game On Sports. So until then, on behalf of our Game On Sports production crew, executive producer Fred Garner, director of operations Lisa Carrillo, director of media Ted Price, social media manager Michael Gaddis, today's producer and director Tim Polster, our outstanding crew Chris Rediger and Reagan Smith, and my broadcast partner Jim Dixon. This is Brian Shackelford, thanking you for joining us this afternoon and for your continued support of the Lone Star Alliance Game of the Week. Until we see you next Saturday, folks, we wish you good night and God bless from Southlake, Texas.